From the heart of Brooklyn, I'm Michael.
And I'm Sarah, and you're listening to Moxie.
Sarah, let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. You wake up, your phone is already screaming with notifications, and you feel like you're starting the race 5 miles behind everyone else.
Oh, I know it well. It's that chronic sense of insufficiency. Like no matter how many boxes you check, the list just grows. We've been told that if we just find the right hack, we'll finally be optimized.
Right. But here's the moment we got lost. We started treating our lives like a linear math problem. We assumed that if we weren't seeing massive, earth-shattering progress every single day, we were failing. We expected a straight line up.
But the reality, it's what experts call the plateau of latent potential. It's that abismo de desilusión, the valley of disappointment, where you're putting in the work, you're doing the habits, but the needle isn't moving.
It's like a cube of ice sitting in a room that's 25 degrees. You heat it to 26, nothing. 27, nothing. 31, still a block of ice. People quit at 31 degrees because they think the effort is wasted, but it's not wasted, it's being stored.
The breakthrough only happens when you hit 32.
To understand how to cross that threshold, we have to look at the first big fail. And for this, we go back to 2003, to the British professional cycling team. Sarah, these guys were the joke of Europe.
Totally. They'd won, one gold medal in 100 years? Manufacturers literally refused to sell them bikes because they didn't want their brand associated with losers.
Enter Dave Brailsford. He didn't come in with a miracle cure. He used a philosophy called the aggregation of marginal gains. He looked for a 1% improvement in everything.
And I mean everything. They redesigned bike seats, sure, but they also hired a doctor to teach the riders the best way to wash their hands so they wouldn't catch a cold. They even found the exact pillow that gave each rider the best sleep.
It seemed trivial, but when those 1% gains compounded, 5 years later they dominated the Beijing Olympics. It turns out habits are the interest compound of self-improvement.
You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
The beat drops out, a quiet, more personal tone. But there's a dark side to this over-optimization obsession. Let's talk about the awkward public moment.
Oh man, you mean the 5 a.m. club people?
Exactly. There's this cringy myth that to be successful, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, do a cold plunge, and read a book before the sun comes up. We see these idealized CEO routines on social media and think we're broken if we can't keep up.
But the science says, look, your brain isn't a factory. For about 20% of the population, people who are neurodivergent, like those with ADHD or dyslexia, these rigid one-size-fits-all systems are actually toxic.
Right. For an ADHD brain, an urgent task isn't just a to-do, it's a resource drain that exhausts them faster than anything else. When they try to force themselves into a neurotypical mold, it doesn't lead to productivity, it leads to an anxiety spiral.
And this leads us to the interview disaster. I was reading about this guy, let's call him Alex. Alex had the meeting of his lifetime, a business deal that could change everything. He was so amped up, he thought there's no way I'll forget what I need to say. It's too important.
Famous last words.
A few days later, he walks into that room and he completely blanks. Everything was gone.
Because he treated his brain like a storage device instead of a processor.
Exactly. The legendary David Allen, the guy who created Getting Things Done, says your head is a terrible office. You have to capture everything, every idea, every task, and get it out of your head into a trusted system.
Alex learned that the hard way. Now he uses the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, like sending a follow-up email, you do it now. No debating, no adding it to the list.
It's about removing the friction of starting, because starting is the hardest part.
Stop trying to remember your life and start living it.
So, Michael, how do we actually bring this home? How do we avoid the hyper-productivity trap that just leads to burnout?
It's about intentionality. Instead of a list of 50 things, you pick a daily highlight, one thing. If you get nothing else done but you finish that, the day is a win.
And give yourself a break. Use the never miss twice rule. Look, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna skip a workout. That's a mistake. But skipping twice, that's the start of a new habit.
And maybe, just maybe, look at your evening routine. We obsess over mornings, but your morning is actually one the night before. Write your list, prep your clothes, and for the love of everything, put the phone away. Give your brain a chance to enter that flow state where action and awareness merge.
We started this episode talking about that feeling of being 5 miles behind, but if you focus on the system, on being just 1% better, you realize there is no race.
The ice is melting, even if you can't see the water yet.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Michael. This was Moxie.